Welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you're overseas and on the move, US listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, back to school challenges and strategies. And in the second watch, the disabled community and the general elections. For our social media question, we ask, what do you remember most about your first day at school? We're asking you to share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's our quote.
All right, today's I quote says the most important day of a person's education is the first day of school, not graduation day. This one is from Harry Wong.
Good morning, Jukal.
Good morning.
A very relevant and appropriate quote. But guess what? It did not say why. Huh?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and I need to ask you, what do you remember most about your first day at high school?
My first day of high school was exciting because most of who I went to primary school with, we went to the same high school.
Yeah.
So it wasn't of a big shift.
Yeah.
I was still used to most of the people. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, an advantage there.
Yeah,
I can't say that about my days. But those are wonderful memories, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. The first watch after this break.
The Jamaica Debates Commission presents the General Elections Debates in association with Scotiabank for Every Future, Kendall, The Taste of Quality, Flow, NCB, ARC Manufacturing, Water, Lasca Foundation, Pan Jamaica Group, Miss Birdie, H&L Homes, and VM Group. Hear the leaders debate between the two major political parties live August 28th at 9 p.m. It's a political must-listen event. Don't miss the General Elections Debates presented by the Jamaica Debates Commission. Watch, listen, decide, vote.
That's the Jamaica Debates Commission's General Elections Debates. Listen live on Love 101 FM, the family station.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
The Jamaica Labour Party is doing more for your safety. Over the past 9 years, we've delivered the lowest murder rate in 30 years. We've strengthened our police force, and we've delivered landmark programs like the first government-run domestic violence shelters. The JLP is doing more for you, and we're not done yet. Proven results means peace of mind. Choose a safer Jamaica. Put your X beside the bell.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
From me, I pick me what me eat and no it's I saw me know say Fosca ingrained in Jamaica. Hey, what's in a bag me know me not try.
Fosca ingrained in Jamaica.
Turn the flame up and take it to 100. This summer we're turning up the love across Jamaica. It's the Double the Love Summer Tour with Love 101.
Everything a double.
Join us in 5 parishes for live broadcast of the Gospel Train and Youth Connection, plus community cook-offs, family sports, games, and good vibes. From Portmore to St. Thomas, Manchester, Mobile, and Kingston.
I'm about to have a good day.
We're spreading faith, fun, and fellowship island-wide. And it all ends with a big back-to-school grand finale in Kingston. The Double the Love Summer Tour, powered by Love 101, the family station. Don't you miss it.
God made the universe, knows me by my name, so it's a good day. Baby in my arms, walking through the neighborhood.
welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, going back to school is exciting for some individuals, but unsettling for others. And this is true not only in terms of students, but parents and teachers as well. So, what are some of the major challenges they may face, and what are some workable strategies which may be employed? To answer these and other related questions, we have online Maria Reed Walker, Region 1 President of the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education, and Linton Ware, First Vice President of the Jamaica Association of Principals and Vice Principals. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Great. Thanks for joining us at this early time of the day. I begin by asking, what are some of the major challenges that both students, parents, and teachers, or all of the above, I should say, may face when they go back to school in a few days from now? Beginning with you, Mr. Ware.
Thank you for having me, and let me use the opportunity to say good morning to our students, our parents, and our educators right across the length and breadth of Jamaica.
Yeah.
As it relates to some of the things that they will be facing for the new school year, is first the level of uncertainty. As it relates to our students, they are going to be facing uncertainties. Those in early childhood, primary, and secondary schools, they will be facing a lot of uncertainty. Students for early childhood, they probably journeying out for the very first time into a school setting. They are going to be, having teary eyes, that sort of a situation. Returning students are going to have their levels of uncertainty as well, because they are moving to a new grade. It could be a situation too that they're moving from primary school to high school, and moving from these different grades and moving from different schools as well. It is going to come with great levels of uncertainty, not knowing what really to expect. As it relates to our teachers too, our teachers are going to have their fear of uncertainty, meeting new sets of students, not knowing really what to expect. But our teachers will be able to hurdle the challenges very, very early. Our parents too, new environment, new teachers, new grade, pretty much new everything. So all in all, everyone is going to be open up to high levels of uncertainty. But it's importantly is how we deal with the different challenges as we face them. And I think
we're going to come to. We're going to come to that soon.
I think it is important that we provide them with that sort of support. So let us say those in early childhood, it is going to be very, very important for our parents on the very first day to drop them off and to reassure them that everything is going to be okay. I know our teachers are going to be ready. They are going to be in place to be saying to the parents, yes, we understand, but you would have to leave them with us at this time. And our teachers are very, very caring individuals, and they are going to be able to take care and settle the different affairs, especially those in early childhood, going out for the very, very first time. Primary and high school is a little bit different. They would have been predisposed already, so they have some coping mechanisms that they will have to employ. And, as it relates to those students, the older ones, they will be able to make the readjustment and the adjustment very, very, very quickly. For our parents, it's going to be very important for our parents to continue the partnership and the relationship with our different schools.
Yes. Maria Reed Walker, Mrs. Walker, your take on that question?
Yes, sir. Good morning. Thank you for having me. Thanks to the listeners who are joining in, so we can all be on the same page.
Yeah.
So it is true that there are certain levels of uncertainties, but for the teachers, for the educators, guidance counselors, we have been doing this for a number of years. So as Mr. Ware has mentioned, that the teachers will be prepared, the school will be prepared. We have these routines, these strategies that we use from time to time. As it relates to the parents are very important partners in our education sector.
Mm-hmm.
And we really would want them to be aware of this, that what they do at home really helps what happens at school.
Yes.
And so if our parents are able to start with the end in mind, that's a strategy I am proposing. Start with the end in mind.
Start with the end in mind.
Regardless, yes, start with the end in mind, regardless of what it is that we are doing. So for us at the school level, how do we want to end the school year? And we start to plan backwards from there. At home, how do you want your child to fare out at the end of the school year as well? Do you want the report that you're going to get to speak to the results that you are looking for, so the child can move on to the next level? When you ask yourself those questions, or that particular question in this case, it helps you to be intentional, be deliberate about your planning and your preparation. And so it can box away the uncertainties and anxieties that may come with a season such as this. So, for example, we know that routines are very important to children. And we want to look at the morning routine, the bedtime routines, because we're talking to the parents here. So what do you do in the morning and what do you do at night? For those of us who have to travel distances, or a great distance to get to school or to work, what time do you want to leave out? That will determine what time you go to bed. What time do you want the child to finish their evening routines to head to bed so they can get good rest? We know that rest is very important. Rest and nutrition and consuming water is very important. So take those factors into consideration, and that will tell you how it is that you're going to be operating once the time comes for you to do it. So you're preparing, you're planning ahead, you're being intentional. So for example, we have children who are always on the devices up until late in the night.
Oh, tell you what, Mrs. Walker, you're going on to a very interesting topic there. We are up on a break, so when we come back, we'll hear more on that.
All right.
It's our business to know how much is being spent in what areas, from education to healthcare.
From roads to security, because our taxes help pay for it.
So, the national budget is our business.
The national budget is my business.
It is my business.
The national budget is my business and yours.
The national budget is everybody's business because it impacts every Jamaican. Visit the Ministry of Finance's website at mof.gov.jm for more information.
Mama work hard, for real. She do the most to send me and my brother go school. So, the dream was always to go to university. Well, I fulfilled 2 dreams with 1 Jane Bank savings plan, you know. I further my education and I make mama proud.
Save so you can make the park, travel park, graduate like a star.
Stop wishing you could. With your Jane Bank savings, you absolutely can. Jane Bank will help you find a way.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And in this, the first watch, we're looking on back to school challenges and the strategies. In so doing, we have online Linton Ware, first Vice President of the Jamaica Association of Principals and Vice Principals. And we also have Maria Reed Walker, Region 1 President of the Jamaica Association of Guidance Counselors in Education. Before the break, I believe you're on to some interesting topics as well. Mrs. Reed Walker, continue.
So I was mentioning, the fact that we have children who are perpetually on their devices. And we're getting back into a particular routine. And I was mentioning, we need to get to bed early so we can get up early.
Mm-hmm.
So parents need to be that much involved, that much observant, that much intentional about setting the ground rules that will spill over into other aspects of life. The morning routine, if you don't go to bed early, it's going to be a challenge getting up early. So the rules have to be clear. They have to be clear and enforced. And I'm not talking about in a militant way. We need to have conversations with our children so that they can understand our expectations and we can understand them as well. So if we are expecting to be excellent at our school life or in our school life, then these habits do not necessarily serve that excellence that we are looking for. So let us together set this time frame that we are working towards. So everybody will work together in the morning. Let's say you have 3-4 children to get out of the house by a particular time to get to school. It means that you have to be that deliberate. Let's get to bed by X time so we can get up at X time. And parents, plan out your breakfast from in the night, whatever you can prep so that the children have something in the morning to maybe just grab and go or minimal preparation in the morning. And so that's just a little part of the morning routine. For me, when my daughter was younger, I had to play a song to get her up. She loved Jermaine Edwards' Beautiful Day. So I had to play that, and in playing that, she would know that it is time to get up because it was difficult to get her up in the morning. She didn't like school. She didn't like going to school. She didn't like that get up and let's go. So I had to find ways to make it fun for her. And then when she gets to school now, that's a different thing. The teachers took care of that part, So we have to be intentional. We have to be creative. How it is that we go around some of these obstacles that will come. They are there year after year.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Weir, you'd like to add anything to what was mentioned by Mrs. Walker a while ago?
Certainly not. I think Ms. Walker pretty much have covered it all, and I think it is very, very important. And I'm very, very happy that you would have invited a guidance counselor who, know the ins and the outs as it relates to our young people. But one other thing that I would want to point out, though, as it relates to us getting ready for back to school, a large chunk of what we'll be doing for back to school is going to be hinged on our parents. And one other thing that I find, especially at the secondary level, I find that our parents, in terms of providing support, early childhood and primary school is very, very good for our parents in terms of support that they provide. And our parents will do everything humanly possible to ensure that their children or children from early childhood, primary school, that they put the different mechanism in place for our students to work and to do well, and for them to get into a quote unquote good high school. But what we find happening after primary school, once they move to secondary school, we recognize the level of support is not the same when our children move into the secondary space. And we find that our parents pretty much have weaned themselves away from the children.
Why is that? Why is that, you think, Mr. Weir? Because you're correct.
I think what it is really, I think our parents are of the opinion that they're big young ladies, big young men now, and they think that they can manage by themselves.
Yes.
But it is important that parents understand that our children need us all the way. You take, for example, and I bring back to your attention, it could have been an Olympic or it could have been a World Championship that Jamaica participated in, and it was a 4x1 relay. And I remember clearly Asafa and Toussaint. I mean, it was Toussaint who was handing the baton to Asafa. And when he handed the baton to Asafa, he did not just hand the baton and stop.
Said some words to him.
He said some words, and not just words. He said he participated. So he said, run, Safa.
Yes, yes.
And you saying, run the entire. So when you look at it, a 4x1 each individual is responsible to run 100 meters.
Yes.
You're saying run 200 meters.
Mm-hmm.
I am saying it is very, very important for our parents to run with our students, run with their children. And that is why I'm saying it's very, very important that when they move from early childhood, primary to secondary, we continue to provide them with the support. And what we find happening in the secondary school, especially, is that when we drop them off in grade 7, we don't find our parents running. Our parents take a taxi and wait for them at the finishing line called graduation. It shouldn't be. It cannot be that we just find ourselves in this graduation culture. We big up graduation. We are everything for graduation. But we're not providing the support that is needed. The support in terms of the different interventions that we are having in school. The support in terms of the PTA meeting. Support in terms of teachers' conversation with us. Those are very, very important. And that is why parents need to understand that education is a relationship. It is a partnership. It cannot be that our teachers and students are the one alone in this together. It is important that our parents participate effectively.
Yes. There's a delicate balance though, Mr. Weir, because you also want a level of independence over time, and the older that they get, they don't become too dependent on their parents always being there, literally beside them, or even philosophically beside them. How do we achieve that delicate balance?
Well, you see, the thing about it, the balance is very, very important, extremely important. We understand clearly that our parents have, they will have to go to work, they will have to do the different things that are required of them. But you have to realize, too, that you're a parent and that you have a serious responsibility. I mean, you're not going to be at the school for the 190 days, but at least check in to find, because look at it. When we put our monies in the bank, we check on our resources, because, I mean, it is our money in the bank, and with all of what is happening, we have to watch to see what is happening with it. It's our investment. It's the same thing with our children. Our children are investment, and it is important for us to check in from time to time. Okay, my child is in grade 7. I dropped her off, first day of school. It's important. I need to find out now who is the form teacher, how many subject areas she's going to be participating in. It is 14 subject areas that she's participating. Can I get the name of all 14 teachers? Is it possible for me to have the numbers as well, so that I can have the conversation? It is going to be very important for me to find out from the teachers if I can get the calendar of events. So if I get the calendar of events, then I would know the different time for the different meetings and how I'm going to structure myself and structure my time. PTA meetings are very, very important, and we find quite a number of our parents are absent as it relates to PTA meetings. We want to ensure that we are supporting these different activities. What are the different activities? And how am I going to structure myself so that I am a part of my child development as it relates to school? When it comes down to homework, those things are very important. You need to communicate with your child. Find out what it is that you have received in terms of homework. How can I assist you? Because our support is going to be very, very important. So yes, we want them to develop independence, but at the same time, it cannot be that we are going to wean ourselves totally from them and just providing school fee and lunch money. It is going to be much, much more than that. It has to be a conversation. It has to be a relationship with students, a relationship with teachers, a relationship with school, so that at the end of the day, our young people will be able to do well. And Jamaica, by extension, will appreciate what it is in terms of our accomplishment and our achievement.
Hearing you loud and clear. Mrs. Reed Walker, mention was made by Mr. Weir of the uncertainties. And in some situations, there are certainties like initiation rights and bullying, especially for the new students. What are your strategies, recommendations, suggestions in addressing those concerns?
All right. It was interesting when Mr. Weir mentioned about the parents being not so involved at the high school level. At the primary school level, we have the same issue because we see them very involved with the infants at the basic school and the infant level. And then the interest seems to drop by the time they get to the primary level. Now, in us shaping a relationship, a partnership with the home, because we have to push homeschool partnerships to tackle any situation at all. Bullying, low academic performance, lack of confidence in children. And so I'm not proposing because it's not a new idea, but I am pushing that parents have a system in place at home that we can work with from the school level. Because we are very observant. We know the parents who are involved. We know the parents who are very interested in the well-being of their children, and it shows in the child. It shows in the attitude when we speak to them about something, and we can call the parent and speak with the parents or invite the parents in for a consultation or a meeting, anything of that sort. And we see the change in the children when that happens. So for those parents who are not so involved, that's where the challenges come in. They are expecting the children, and I heard you talk about the balance between, being independent, but they expect the children to be able to manage themselves, and that cannot be the case because it is a partnership between school and home to get this job done so that we can send them out into society.
Yes.
And so when we start with the end in mind, I really want to emphasize that any aspect of it at all. So the end result is that we have a bullying situation. Where do we want to see this going? What are the factors involved? And so conversations must happen and expectations must be communicated, right? When all the stakeholders at the school level come together to attack this situation, so the guidance counselor, the dean of discipline, the heads of departments, the principal, vice principals, the parents are needed. And so we are calling on the parents to step up so that we can work together to fix the situations that arise, the obstacles that come at us.
Yes. Less than a minute. Mr. Weir, what are your strategies in terms of bullying? Should they fight back?
Well, certainly bullying is real and bullying is serious. As it relates to tackling bullying, one of the first things that we want to communicate to our students, one of the first things we want to communicate to our parents is that the child that is being bullied, a lot of times they don't want to communicate, they don't want to share because they are very fearful. We have to say to our parents that, parents, look, it's important that you have that beautiful relationship with your child so that your child can communicate with you and hear whatever is happening. It's going to be very important too for our children to develop trust and to the point where they can communicate with our teachers, not just our guidance counselor, but all our teachers.
Right.
So that we can raise the issues and we can step on it as quickly as possible.
I have to leave it there. Thank you so very much for joining us, Mr. Walker and Mrs. Walker and Mr. Weir. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a safe and productive day.
Thank you too.
All the best.
Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
Start your journey with a JN Small Business Loan with small business loans as little as $10,000 and up to $4 million. The time by JN Small Business Loan is
7:30.
The Jamaica Debates Commission presents the General Elections Debates in association with Scotiabank for Every Future, Kendall, The Taste of Quality, Flow, NCB, ARC Manufacturing, Water, Lasco Foundation, Pan Jamaica Group, Miss Birdie, H&L Homes, and VM Group. Hear the leaders debate between the two major political parties live August 28th at 9 p.m. It's a political must-listen event. Don't miss the General Elections Debates presented by the Jamaica Debates Commission. Watch, listen, decide, vote.
That's the Jamaica Debates Commission's General Elections Debates. Listen live on Love 101 FM, the family station.
One Tang packet, some water, and suddenly you've got for everyone. That's the magic of Tang. It goes a long way and tastes even better. Refreshing, fruity, and now with vitamin C, D, zinc, and fewer calories. It's the drink that fills your glass and the moment. Tang, more flavor, more to share, more to enjoy. Tang, the drink that starts the fun.
If you want $10,000 to spend this summer, what would you spend it on?
Something nice. I'd book our family dream vacation, theme park, or an all-inclusive.
I'd pay off my student loan and start my master's program.
I'd go shopping and get a whole new wardrobe.
They've got plans. What's yours? Use your NCB Visa credit card. Every 25,000 Jamaican dollars you spend is a chance to win $10,000. Something nice for the summer. Promotion ends September 14. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act of Jamaica.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
We estimate that there are about 20 to 25,000 who are unemployed because they do not have any skill. They are a loss to our economy. And we have tasked hard to find these 25,000. Go out into the communities, put on your training fairs, have specific agents out there doing your reconnaissance and surveillance and finding these youngsters. Get them into your training program. Offer them stipends and bus fare and lunch money. But more than that, what they need mentoring. Because oftentimes they simply do not know about the opportunities that exist. They exist on the periphery of the system and they are skeptical of the system and they don't believe that the system is set up for them.
Be smart. Choose hard. The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Are you ready for something mega?
Spend $6,500 or more before GCT. Drop your entry in the box and you can win a 2025 Hyundai Toussaint. It's the Mega Wheels Tour promotion. April 5th to September 28th. Second prize, a $50,000 shopping spree every month for a year. Third prize, a $30,000 shopping spree every month for a year. Brought to you by Hyundai, Redstone, Heineken, True Milk, Rex, Walker's Wood, Downing, CPJ Daiquiri, and Carryburst. Juice Concentrate. Only at Megamart. Locations island-wide. Megamart. Best value by far. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. In both major newspapers, the PNP says its proposed income tax break will possibly cost about $55 billion. Then JLP accuses PNP of angry and desperate election campaign. Also, PSOJ calls for detailed tax relief plans from both major political parties. We also see that there is retrofitting and servicing of rural school buses that is complete, says Darrell Vaz. And then finally, the Office of the Registrar General hit by cyber attack. Those are some of the major headlines in our newspapers. Well, coming up next, we'll share some of the feedback from our social media question. What do you remember most about your first day at school? We're asking you to leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Many girls still lack access to period products, and they can miss up to 1 year of school because of this. But together, we can change that reality. The End Period Poverty campaign, sponsored by Always, is here. From August 1 to September 30, for every pack of Always products you purchase, we donate a pad to girls in need. So go to your local supermarket and help our girls have access to period products.
Turn the flame up and take it to 100. This summer, we're turning up the love across Jamaica. It's the Double the Love Summer Tour with Love 101.
Everything a double.
Join us in 5 parishes for live broadcast of the Gospel Train and Youth Connection, plus community cook-offs, family sports, games, and good vibes. From Portmore to St. Thomas, Manchester, Mobile, and Kingston.
I'm about to have a good day.
We're spreading faith, fun, and fellowship island-wide. And it all ends with a big back-to-school grand finale in Kingston. The Double the Love Summer Tour, powered by Love 101, the family station. Don't you miss it.
God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. Baby in my arms, walking through the neighborhood.
The Jamaica Debates Commission presents the General Elections Debates in association with Scotiabank for Every Future, Kendall, The Taste of Quality, Flow, NCB, ARC Manufacturing, Water, Lasca Foundation, Pan Jamaica Group, Miss Birdie, H&L Homes, and VM Group. Hear the leaders' debate between the two major political parties live August 28th at 9 p.m. It's a political must-listen event. Don't miss the General Elections Debates presented by the Jamaica Debates Commission. Watch, listen, decide, vote.
That's the Jamaica Debates Commission's General Elections Debates. Listen live on Love 101 FM, the family station.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join Jokal for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answered today's question. What do you remember most about your first day at school? Jokal.
All right, so we have some responses. Monica said, first day at basic school, I cried. No, I bawled when I saw my mom was leaving and realized I was being left there. Talk about trauma. Cherry says it was a big shift from primary school to high school. There was excitement mingled with fear. Unsettling as it was, a new school, a new environment, new teachers, new classmates. Sometimes you don't even know what to expect until further down, and then things get settled after that. Let's go to Nadine from Portmore Mall. I remember my first day at school when I realized that them had left me. Run back at them and cry. I want to go home. Edna in Montego Bay, let's hear from her.
Good morning, Morning Watch. Good morning, Love 101 listeners and staff. What I remember most, my first day at school, at primary school, I met up Anna, bully, or should I say it was to be bully. And I got myself in trouble. Defending myself, I took up a pebble and straight to the head of that was to be bully, and she got a cut. And by evening, when I reached home, our parents was at my gate complaining. I tell my parents she trouble me. So I don't know if it was a coward throw or not, but it did connect. That's it. That's what I remember most. I forgot to say that from that day, me and that was to be bully became friend up until now.
All right, thank you so much, Edna. Thank you for the responses. I believe, okay, yes, that's it for now.
Okay. Interesting responses there. Thank you so very much, those who sent in their comments. All right, as we segue into the second watch, the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, while commending the authorities for the notable considerations made over the years, still has some concerns in regards to the upcoming general elections. So, what are those concerns and how will they be addressed? Well, to give us answers in that regard, we have joining us Dr. Christine Hendricks, Executive Director of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, and Glasspool Brown, Director of Elections. Good morning to you both. Good morning.
Thank you for having us. Me?
Yes. Good morning. Mr. Brown there?
Hi, good morning to you.
Yes, good to have you both. Now, anecdotally, of course, based on your personal experiences and observations, how involved in the election process would you say are members of the disabled community? Beginning with you, Dr. Hendricks.
I say good morning again. I believe it is similar to the average Jamaican, and in some instances not so similar. Because you do have some persons with disabilities who will make the choice to, be part of the process, and you will have some who will choose not to. Then you will have some who would want to, but are not able to because they have not been allowed to. And they are not allowed to, not perhaps deliberately, but because of how the systems have been set up, persons with some disabilities over the years have felt disenfranchised. And in particular, I will speak now of the deaf community, because they do not get information the same way that our other citizens get information. If you are hearing, you hear everything that is going on. You will hear the man on the street. You will hear your parents or your friends in your home or your community. You will hear. But being out of the loop, unless there is a deliberate effort to ensure that they hear, they will not necessarily know what is happening just by the way. And so information to the community has to be deliberate, has to be in a manner that they can understand, and has to be in a way that they can appreciate to make informed choices.
And we're going to drill down more on that shortly. Glasspool Brown, from your perspective, especially in terms of the workers, how involved?
So, they are involved to a certain extent. We are conscious certainly from all in the electoral office of Jamaica in terms of the need to be somewhat more all-inclusive of that grouping of persons. We have seeking to do a number of things. We have had in recent times.
Okay, I'm so sorry, Mr. Bond. We're up on a break. We want to hear more on that. We'll be right back.
The time that Grace could move is
7:45 a.m.
We're making the markets better for you. In the last financial year, more than $100 million was spent on repairs for Sentence Bay, Ocho Rios, Santa Cruz, and the Yallas markets. We completed phase 1 of the new Buff Bay market, and the final phase will be completed before the end of this year. Alexandria and the Spalding markets are set for rehabilitation in this financial year. The Ministry of Local Government and Community Development is working to modernize our markets, making them more convenient for doing business. Local government is working for you.
We've seen a lot of our customers make some good moves over the years. Whether it's sharing a hug with a friend you haven't seen in a long time or sharing a meal, Grace has been there. So let's keep making these moments together, because rest assured, every time you choose Grace, you know you're making a good move.
Always a good move when you're moving with grace.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Our topic for the second watch is the disabled community and the general elections. In so doing, we have online Glasspool Brown, Director of Elections, and Dr. Christine Hendricks, Executive Director of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. Before the break, Glasspool Brown, I had interrupted your train of thought. Forgive me, but please continue, sir, as you respond to the question of the involvement of members of the disabled community from your perspective. Yes, sir. Mr. Brown?
Yeah, got cut off.
Okay, yes, go ahead, please.
Right. We are quite aware of the concern that is out there, and the concern that we need to be more accommodated in terms of what we do in terms of our facilities that we have in place, as it relates to how it impacts on the disability community. But in recent time, we are seeking to take some steps towards putting a number of things in place. Certainly, our interaction with the different associations that represent that grouping, we have increased our consultation, and certainly some of the things that, although minor, that we'll be doing for this election, have come about because of that interaction that has and the consciousness on our part that we need to do much more to accommodate the persons who are disabled.
Mm-hmm.
Included among those things is the fact that we have took a decision, and our policy now is as best as possible to locate all our polling stations on the ground floor. In the past, a number of our polling stations are located on upper floors. Certainly, the upcoming elections, approximately 98% of our polling stations will be on the ground floor. A number of our buildings that we use are actually government buildings, schools, and so on. While they are not there yet in terms of facilities like ramps and adequate space for a person to move about, especially persons with wheelchair and etc. So there are some improvement there. Certainly looking at for our end to temporarily put in some ramps where possible for the upcoming election on September 3rd. So discussion will continue. Certainly as we go forward in terms of future elections, you're going to see greater things on our parts being done to accommodate that those individuals in the vote process, not just the voting side of it, but be more active in the certain, as you asked a question earlier on in terms of the workers, etc.
Yes. Right. So you don't have many workers who are persons with disabilities, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. But those that you do, how do they function? What have been the concerns from their end?
With limited amount in terms of those persons that we use on election, there's certain within our office. We have a few persons, and they perform like anybody else.
Yes.
In terms of their productivity.
Yes.
So we are quite happy in terms of those. As if the opportunity comes for us to expand the number of persons within our workforce across the island, we will do so as long as the ability you can deliver in terms of your productivity. That's what we look for.
Yes. So, Dr. Hendricks, I know that you and the EOJ, especially Gospel Brown, have been in consultations and dialogue.
Yes.
What are there still some outstanding concerns that you'd like to raise?
So I really want to commend the EOJ and Sir Brown for the work that they would have been doing over the years and more recently. And I know that some of the concerns that we have have to be addressed through legislative change. For example, allowing persons who are blind or visually impaired to vote independently, whether by electronic voting or voting with braille or whatever the technology is, for persons who are blind and visually impaired to do so on their own, independently in privacy like everybody else. And so it makes me heartened that over time, as we, move towards more development as a country, we will get to that place. So it heartens me because they did, before we knew that election was going to be called and so on, the process of their legislative review began, and we did point out the areas that are critical, and they have been receptive. And so I'm truly grateful for that. So that is a concern that will not be addressed for this election. And so the persons who are blind and visually impaired would still have to get that support.
Could you stick a pin right there? I'm so sorry. What happens now? Well, for those who are blind and visually impaired, could you just tell us what's the procedure for voting now?
What happened is that the representation of the people that is GOPA clearly outlines what should take place. What happened that the individual can either ask somebody he or she has confidence in to accompany him or her to the police station, and then that person, based on the instruction of that individual, would then do the
voting on his or her behalf. Yes.
So that is allowed in the law. It is clearly defined in the law.
Does that person have to take a vow, an oath?
Yes.
What's the nature of that? You can tell us.
I don't have the exact word in my head right now. But in effect, it's that they will have to carry out the instruction of the person that is giving them the instruction.
And confidentiality?
And confidentiality.
Interesting. Okay.
The whole process is centered around confidentiality. Right? If you assist the person, it is expected that you would not so divulge to anybody else, to any third party, the preference of the person who asked you to so mark the ballot on his or her behalf.
Yes. So the electronic consideration that was raised by Dr. Hendricks as well. How far are we away from having that as a reality? I know not for this election, but future.
Right. Yeah, it's something that that Dr. Hendricks has said. We have started looking at it. In fact, we even have begun to have discussion with other electoral management bodies across the world in terms of what they do to see what we could adopt from what they are doing in those jurisdictions. So we have had that discussion. For example, in Trinidad, I think Trinidad use what is known as a tactile ballot to assist that process.
Okay.
In Trinidad, so we have.
There was talk about Braille in your discussions anytime?
Yeah, we have had that discussion, but as I was said, some of the things that can be done going to take time because, as Dr. Hendrick did indicate earlier on, it might a matter of legislative change. Because as the structure now is that everybody should be use the same procedure to cast a ballot. So it is not simple to just move away.
Yeah.
It will require some level of change in the legislation.
Dr. Hendricks, I think I was reading somewhere about concerns about people literally lifting up persons while they're in a wheelchair and how dehumanizing it and embarrassing it is. What's your take on that?
Sir Toussaint, from I was a child, it is something that I have noticed that during election time, that is one of the times that persons who use wheelchair, who are adults, are taken from their homes lifted sometimes because there's not a wheelchair. Sometimes if there is, and based on where the office or the space is that they would be doing, they're casting the ballot, they would then have to be lifted. So if it is up a flight of stairs or a number of flights of stairs, then just imagine being lifted. I cannot get out of my mind a gentleman. As a child, he was very big, and the number of men that had to be lifting him. And in my mind, looking back, maybe it was funny then, but now I'm in the space where you recognize that anything could have happened. They all could have tumbled down the stairs and either get hurt or someone lose their life. And so the dignity that needs to be accorded to persons with disabilities, and I'm not saying that they did it at the time thinking of the fact that it is, undignified or it is, trespassing on that person's personal space. I don't think that was the thought. But now that we're in a space that you now understand the importance of how someone should be treated, it is not what we want to continue to see. And hence the reason, and I really appreciate the fact that the electoral office has taken the decision to ensure that 98% at least, we look forward to the 100. They are on the ground floor, though sometimes on the ground floor there may be steps up, but the fact that he has also reached out to get the guidance as to where to get ramps and so on, to temporary portal ones to facilitate people who are coming in and can be, transported or guided, with that human dignity that they should be accorded.
Yes.
It makes me feel that there is care, they are listening, and there is an appreciation of what needs to happen within the rights of what the person with the disability should be accorded. And so we're hoping that we do not see that happening. I know that it is not the political leader, it is the persons who are, the foot soldiers, and so we recognize too that it's a sensitization and awareness that this is just not how you treat with someone, because anything can happen, and we would not want in the in us, ensuring that a right is carried out, there is danger, or persons' lives are, in danger.
I must ask before we close. The deaf or those with hearing impairment, how is that being addressed in terms of sign language interpreters? Don't know who wants to take that.
For us, is I said so many things are how do we deal with it, not in the present now, but in terms of the future. The challenge you will have with that, how we operate our police stations with a number of volunteers. Actually, for this election, we have 7,294 police stations. So within that police station structure, you have close to 25,000 volunteers. So it's how do we get them to be able to master sign language, etc. Bear in mind, I think one of our weakness maybe our system is to properly identify where are the disabled persons located in terms of those that are listed on the list. How do we get them up to speed to be able to communicate?
But they're all over the country though, Mr. Brown. Eh?
They're all over the country, but you might have some police station might have zero, while you might have some police stations that have maybe more, a number of them. So do we target, how do we target those? So it's, as I said, that's really the thought processes, but it's something that we need to explore. Certainly, we from the EOJ, and we are prepared to look at all the options to make it much more comfortable for everybody who.
We'll have those challenges. Dr. Andrews, quickly in 30 seconds.
Just let me tag on to what was said. I think technology has made a lot of things easier than it was in the past. Perhaps it is too late now for this year, but an easy way is to have a number of interpreters, sign language interpreters, on standby with a WhatsApp, with video call to provide that support, because deaf people, that's what they use. That's their means of communication.
Yes.
And so the use of technology has made a lot of things much easier. So we do not need to have a sign language interpreter at every polling station. There can be a number who are on standby that if a deaf person comes in, that support, that person is on standby via video phone.
We use the technology.
To utilize,
loud and clear.
indeed.
Great,
Yes.
great.
And so we look forward
Got to leave
to
Got to leave
our
it there.
country getting there. Thank you so
Yes,
very much.
all the best as we face the next election and going forward, okay?
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks
All
for
right,
joining
blessings.
us. Okay.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you, listeners, for being with us. For information, who get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-9596-7. This, of course, has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Elizabeth Stewart, and our guests. Please join Mr. Stokely Marshall next week as he continues to look at the issues of the day. I'm Dylan Toussaint, reminding you to be purposeful, faithful, and thankful as I return you to Love in the Morning with Jokal Dyer.